All right, fans in attendance, we are about ready to kick things off. And traditionally, to kick things off, we usually start the day off with the national anthem. So, we'd like to invite you to please stand for today's performance of the national anthem. Today's national anthem singer is Chingadera Christina. Chingadera Christina is a vocal, dance, and health and fitness coach with over 30 years' experience. She specializes in strengthening and building the mind, body, and spirit.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Chingadera Christina, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as we prepare to kick things off, we would like to introduce to you, before we get to introducing the teams for this bout, we'd like to give some love to the team we literally couldn't do this without, our referee staff. At head referee for this bout, Tabitha Christie.
Game executioner is going to be Ridley Scorpio.
Jam ref, Helania Hemlock.
Jam referee Dave Brawlings.
Front pack referee, Infidel Castro.
Backpack referee Maraschino Jerry.
Outside pack referee, Lollipop.
Outside pack referee Jet Black and Blue.
Penalty tracker, Gourmet Cupcake.
Penalty track assist The Panda Face Killer.
Penalty box admin, Hoover Slam.
Penalty box admin Optical Delusion.
On whiteboard, Abby Arsenic.
Eye in the sky Bust a Mug.
Eye in the sky, Jacked Heart.
Scoreboard Whomping Will Ow.
On the runner, Freya Hugs.
And alternate NSO Professor McGonagall.
Show some love to the referees. It could very well be the only love they get all day long. And now, fans.
Not really.
We would like to introduce the teams that will be scouting here in this first bout today. Southside Roller Derby Elite from Houston, Texas, and San Diego Derby United, the Wildfires. Skating for Southside today, number 127, Violent Viking. Number 214, November Pain. Number 31, Lola Chola. Number 311, Evil Eye Candy. Number 413, Mermace. Number 419, Pandemonium. Number 5150, Stingray. Number 629, Crash and Burn. Number 69, Star. Number 8, Dolly B. Rotten. Number 82, Daisy Nukes. Number 89, your co-captain, Hot Tamale. And your captain of the Southside Roller Derby Elite Team, number 721, Mojo.
And skating this morning for your San Diego Derby United Wildfires, we've got number 1022, Heartland. Number 13, Mighty Ducky. Number 360, Isabel Ringer. Number 394, Helenor. Number 4, Bryn Diesel. Number 40, Tiger Lily. Number 408, Taffy. 50-50, Cheap Trick. Number 7, Slamurai. Number 805, Hetty Lascar. Number 9 3/4, Nocturne Alley. Number 99, Reckham Ralph. Your co-captain this morning for SDDU is going to be 389, Stiletto. And your captain this morning is number 11, Riled Up. And that's the San Diego Derby United Wildfires.
right, fans, there's about 20 seconds to go. With you this morning for 5 of the 6 bouts, I am your announcer, Old Greg.
And good morning, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. This is Becker Recker, also announcing with Old Greg. Super stoked to be here.
And we are just mere seconds away from the first whistle of the day.
Who's excited? I'm excited. Have you had your coffee? Are you ready to be excited? Let's go.
Here we go. 12 hours of roller derby action. The second half of Chingadera 2019 ready to go. Taking the jammer line for San Diego, number 40, Tiger Lily.
That is number 31, La Choya, for your SSRD Elite.
And the jam is underway. Lola Chola up to the outside along the rail quickly, up to the front of the pack, but dealing with a 3 wall of white jerseys up there. At the back of the pack, there's Tiger Lily getting dumped onto the infield. And the pack make their way into the back straightaway now. Neither jammer having much luck, and then there goes Tiger Lily through the pack and out, and Tiger Lily's your lead jammer for San Diego.
Got Lola Chola taken to the rail by a couple of San Diego blockers, still trying to get out on the high side. Looks like she's just able to make it out, while number 40 is coming around for a scoring pass.
Tiger Lily tried to go up to the outside in the corner, ended up taking a tumble and tumbled down most of the length of the track there.
She's got to call off that jam before the other jammer can get around and steal any of her points.
So we are going to get things going very early here with a power jam for Southside already. No, it is not. Never mind.
Stiletto says nope.
Stiletto says, thank you for reminding me. On the jammer line for San Diego is Stiletto.
And Pandemonium, number 419 for Southside. Pandemonium trying to take that high side and getting stuck behind a 3 wall of San Diego.
Stiletto out and clear as the lead jammer for San Diego, making her way up to the pack. And Stiletto navigating her way to the front there now, dealing with a 3 wall of Southside defenders, but they are out of play, and she is able to get waved on through.
Pandemonium, on the other hand, has been knocked to the infield, resetting behind, still trying to make her way through some of those San Diego blockers, getting some assistance from her team.
Pandemonium now gets those San Diego blockers pushed out of play, and she's allowed to go on through.
Stiletto coming around for a scoring pass, trying to get through some of these Southside blockers who are holding down some good defensive walls in the back.
And Stiletto gets through, picks up her points, and she calls off the jam. And this time, I'm actually sure we definitely have a power jam this time.
Looks like the Southside jammer, number 419, picked up an above shoulders penalty.
So on the jammer line for San Diego, all by our lonesome, number 4, Bryn Diesel.
For our first power jam of the morning, power jam.
San Diego put 10 points on the board there in the previous jam, so they've jumped out to a very early 11-0 lead, and Bryn Diesel able to follow the lead of her blockers and get right through the pack.
Yeah, very quickly saw Slammerai open up that high lane, and Bryn Diesel just ran right through there. Makes an attempt at taking the low lane, and that is closed off by a Southside blocker real effectively.
Bryn Diesel now gets those 2 blockers separated out away from the rest of the pack, and they're pushed out of play. And she is allowed to pass on by with 30 seconds to go in the San Diego Power Jam, halfway gone.
San Diego holding their goat in the back, both so they can get their jammer that 1 point in the back and so that the blockers in front will be pushed out of play, forcing them to let the jammer go, which is exactly what happens. Here comes number 4, Bryn Diesel, back around for yet another scoring pass.
With the jam clock reaching 0, Bryn Diesel able to get by those 2 blockers at the front end of the pack, and that's going to do it. The clock blows up on the power jam. Waiting for the official score. And indeed, it is 3 full scoring passes. 15 points for San Diego on the power jam.
Currently looking at a score of so far 0 for Southside and 26 for San Diego.
On the jammer line for Southside is number 127, Violent Viking.
And number 13, Mighty Ducky for San Diego. Violent Viking gets hit hard to the infield, stays down for a second, but she's back up. And in fact, Mighty Ducky also hit to the infield. And Violent Viking finds an opening, runs for it, and shoo, she is out of there. She's super fast. Here she comes around for a scoring pass.
Violent Viking, your lead jammer for Southside, now approaching the pack as the pack approaches the far turn.
She better get some points because number 13, Mighty Ducky, is coming around fast.
Violent Viking calls the jam before surrendering any points to Mighty Ducky.
Violent Viking celebrating, getting some points for her team. Always super exciting. We've got number 413, Mermaids, on the jammer line for Southside.
For San Diego, it's number 40, Tiger Lily.
Both jammers trying to make it through on the right in the middle of the pack. Both of them getting held up.
And there goes Tiger Lily along the inside, able to find an opening coming out of the turn. And Tiger Lily's your lead jammer for San Diego.
Mermaids is stuck in the back of the pack. She's got one blocker left to contend with, and that's Heartland from San Diego. Eventually has to let her go.
Heartland, the co-captain for San Diego, wearing the pivot stripe here in this jam and was out there doing everything she could on the front end of the pack to defend. Tiger Lily gets through the pack on a scoring pass and calls off the jam.
Got Lola Chola coming back to the line for Southside.
And for San Diego, that is your co-captain this morning, number 389, Stiletto. I think I just said Heartland was the co-captain. Heartland was the co-captain last night, so forgive me, I've seen these guys a lot this weekend. And emerging out the front of the pack as your lead jammer for Southside, that is number 31, Lola Chola.
Got Stiletto still stuck behind a couple of Southside blockers who eventually have to let her go. So now Stiletto's out. Lola Chola trying to get some points.
Lola Chola trying to get to the front of the pack, sees Stiletto coming on with a full head of steam and calls off the jam.
Excellent timing and awareness there. Lola Chola able to pass a couple more blockers before that, those couple of seconds where she has to decide whether to make that call off, and she makes a good choice there. We've got, let's see, number 4 for San Diego. That's Bryn Diesel. Looks like we might have a power jam.
Indeed we do. Confirmation shouted out as if you asked for it from the infield. Power jam pink. Power jam white, I should say.
Looks like in the last jam, the Southside jammer got an arms penalty. So we've got this power jam being skated for San Diego, and Bryn Diesel is out of the pack already.
So Bryn Diesel now will be coming around. You can see there in the front straightaway, the pack is held almost stationary. San Diego is really going to control the pace of play here. Bryn Diesel navigates her way through the first wall of defenders and now through the front wall of defenders, and Bryn Diesel on her way around for another scoring pass. Pretty full pack out there, it looks like. Looks like we've got all 4 defenders out there for Southside. Bryn Diesel this time able to get down, and she catches the front part of the pack in an awkward part of the turn and able to leap over a defender. 20 seconds to go here in the power jam. Bryn Diesel now approaching the pack a third time. This time one of her blockers out, opens the door for her.
She breaks right through the seam of that wall up in the front there.
Bryn Diesel checks the clock, and she's going to try to get around one more time. Southside now trying to move the pack a little bit.
San Diego blockers doing a good job keeping that extra point in the back, so when Bryn Diesel comes around, we'll wait for confirmation, but she's probably able to pick up that one last point there.
And it's a 17-point power jam for San Diego.
Got number 419, Pandemonium, coming to the line for Southside.
And for San Diego, that's number 13, Mighty Ducky.
Ooh, Mighty Ducky knocked off into the infield by number 8, Dolly B. Rotten.
Now up at the front of the pack, doing battle with the front of the pack. There is the Southside jammer trying to fight her way through, but knocked down to the infield, knocked to her knees.
Both jammers still stuck, which indicates that both teams are doing a great job at holding down some really strong defense here. And finally, the San Diego jammer, that's number 13, Mighty Ducky, is out.
At the back of the pack for Southside, that is Pandemonium, still trying to shake clear of those San Diego blockers. Mighty Ducky now able to find an opening along the inside of the front straightaway. 7 seconds to go in the jam with Mighty Ducky coming around and seeing if she can get some points picked up. Actually, I was going to say, for fans who are used to watching perhaps flat track roller derby, you know, people can skate backwards and pick up something if they drop a
Yeah, in
star.
particular
Yeah.
the star,
Yeah, exactly.
if they're passing the star,
and
yeah.
in bank trap, if you drop it 2 inches behind where you're standing,
You got to
cannot-
go all the way around. Yeah.
So she basically she waited on the side of the track there and just waited for the jammer to come around because the clock was so far down.
Yeah, so that
Interesting.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if that's what the refs are discussing. Make sure that you know,
Yeah.
everything is according to the rule
Mhm.
set here.
So while the referees discuss that one, we'd like to let you know about some of our tournament sponsors. We'll really quick just let you know about the after party tonight to get your appetite whetted for that at Third Space. It's the official after party location, Third Space, cafe, bar, coffee shops, and music. Longtime league sponsor and a sponsor of Chingadera every year. It's at 1028 Grand Avenue, the corner of 11th Avenue and Grand, and it's where the after party is happening tonight.
I'm definitely going to want a beer after these 2 days, Cliff. Great.
So we do have a power jam. The penalty was assessed as likely part of that star pass with the Southside team. So Tiger Lily for San Diego out there by her lonesome and able to navigate her way through the pack on her first scoring attempt.
San Diego keeping a goat in the back there. Got Tiger Lily coming back around for more points. One of the San Diego blockers moves forward to play some offense for Tiger Lily, who only has one more blocker to contend with, kind of jumps over her legs there, makes it back out.
20 seconds to go in the San Diego Power Jam. Tiger Lily coming up for scoring pass number 3, and her blockers move forward, trying to open an opening for her.
Ooh, she breaks through the seams of those 2 blockers, but takes a tumble. She's back up real quick, though, coming back around.
And with that, the clock is going to expire.
Got some penalties being called. Looks like Southside will be sitting 1 blocker for this jam. We've got for Southside, we've got number 127 Violent Viking coming to the line to jam.
For San Diego, that is Stiletto. San Diego putting 15 points on the board during that power jam. Pushes their lead up to 70-7 here in the early going. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Got a jammer race happening. Stiletto is out as lead jammer with Violent Viking close behind her. Both jammers very quick. Ooh, Stiletto goes for a jump. Doesn't quite land it. Ooh, and both jammers off into the infield. Stiletto gets back up, calls the jam off.
Stiletto just ran out of real estate down there in the corner, was trying to get through, like you said, tried to jump over part of the apex of the turn, and not quite able to stick the landing.
It's always impressive when anyone does a coping jump, but she went for that one in the straightaway, which is actually a lot harder. So I mean, she could have probably landed it, but somebody knocked her flying.
It is quite difficult to jump and then like twist through midair and then land in a straight line from where you jump from.
No, it's easy. I don't know what you're talking about. That
there-
sounded really simple.
There we go. It is a power jam for San Diego. Penalty assessed to the Southside jammer in the previous jam, plus 2 of their blockers in the penalty box as well. Bryn Diesel out there one more time. She's like the designated power jammer.
Yeah,
for
it seems
San
like
Diego.
it. Yeah, Bryn Diesel doing a great job holding down the jamming for San Diego this morning.
40 seconds to go in the San Diego Power Jam. Bryn Diesel has completed 1 scoring pass and now through the pack, but takes a tumble. So she will get up and try it again.
She sees a open lane in the middle, but got blown up by one of the Southside blockers, but is able to make it through eventually.
20 seconds to go in the San Diego Power Jam. The pack now about midway down the back straightaway. Bryn Diesel looking for an opening. She goes up to the outside, and there's a Southside blocker there. But Bryn Diesel through the pack. And that will more than likely do it for the Power Jam. Waiting for the clock. And there it is.
Looked like we only had 2 blockers out there for Southside. It was Crash and Burn and Hot Tamale. And they were playing some really excellent defense for having only 2 blockers out there. They were really holding it down. All right, we've got number 413, Mermace, back on the jammer line, ready to go for Southside.
And the San Diego jammer is number 13, Mighty Ducky. San Diego putting 15 more points on the board there during that power jam with 1:30 to go here in the first quarter. Mighty Ducky had started to the outside, but then rolled to the inside, and there was a big old opening there for there, and Mighty Ducky is your lead jammer.
And Mermace uses one of her own teammates' momentum for her, gets on out, and she's chasing down the San Diego jammer. Forcing that call off from San Diego.
So now, setting up on the jammer line, San Diego is going to send up number 40, Tiger Lily.
And that is Lola Chola from Southside Roller Derby Elite. Lola Chola makes it out lead for Southside, and she's coming around the track with some speed. And San Diego jammer appears to still be stuck in the pack. Oh, Lola Chola saw an opening on the low, but one of the San Diego blockers met her there, prevented that that easy access to the coping. So
Yeah.
Lola Chola stuck behind some San Diego blockers.
It looks like Lola Chola met up with number 7, Slammerai, there on the back straightaway. Ended up being a net push as both of them ran into each other and fell down, but
We end up with a lead change. Lola Chola, after being knocked to the infield, gives up the lead jammer status to Tiger Lily, who in turn is forced to call it off as Lola Chola gets back up and is ready to try and score more points. Unfortunately, Lola Chola picked up a back block penalty, it looks like, in that jam. So that looks like it's going to be a power jam for San Diego, assuming the refs, assuming that's right. Looks like it might be. Some discussion happening. Currently got a score of 9 for Southside and 93 for San Diego.
so we will step aside for the quarter break, and as Becker just told you, we are going to start off with it appears we're going to start off with a power jam in the second quarter, so come right back for all the action. That quarter would just zipped right by. Here with the early morning roller derby fun, Valley of the Sun, right now outside. It is a brisk 45 degrees, according to the weather. Super chilly outside.
That's
My
a good thing
goodness.
we have this
I know.
tournament
Yeah.
in February. None of you would want to be here if it were June or
Also
July.
correct, yes.
I
Well,
promise
it's a balmy
you.
126 degrees outside today.
Who
then-
wants to announce
then-
that?
and then later the air is going to turn into mud.
Yeah. Or just like flames, just
Right.
flames
Yeah,
coming
that
from
too, right.
Yeah, we always love welcoming you here for Chingadera in February, the perfect month to visit Arizona.
In
And the
July-
only month you
in
should really be
July,
visiting
it'll
Arizona.
Be at 125 degrees, and then it'll rain just enough to make your car filthy and make you unable to see out your windshield.
And then you're just crying a little bit on the
Yeah.
inside, or maybe tears out your eyes.
But it is fabulous. We've skaters from all over the country here this weekend. We've got LA, San Diego here, the Wildfires, Southside from Houston, TXRD from Austin, Texas.
We've got TTRB from Seattle, who are
Yeah.
able to get away from some of that crazy snow going on over there.
Right, and of course the hometown Arizona Hotshots. So it's been a really good time so far, and we got 5 more bouts tonight. So
Yep. All right, folks, you ready for some more roller derby action? Because you don't have a choice. Here we go.
We are ready to go. We're going to start things off with the power jam for San Diego. That is Stiletto, number 389, who is out there to do the power jam for San Diego to start the second quarter. And Stiletto out of the pack.
Stiletto.
I thought yesterday when watching the San Diego bout, she reminds me a lot of Milani Mangler from our home.
Also, they have their hairstyle the same. I kept
that.
confusing them on the jammer line.
They jammed against each other a couple
that
times.
Was pretty. That was adorable, to be honest. It's like you guys are twins up there.
Stiletto completed a scoring pass, now coming around for a second, and able to maneuver around that last blocker and stay on her skates with 12 seconds to go in the San Diego Power Jam. She's going to try to pick up some more points here on a third scoring pass.
Southside coming together to build a wall and play some defense in the front. Stiletto comes in hard, knocks down number 8 from Southside, and makes it through on her scoring pass.
And we have an official timeout. So the referee's going to talk that one over. We'll let you know about some more of our tournament sponsors. Don't forget, we've got fabulous food options all day long. Outside right now, Off the Hook Taco Truck. It's a locally owned and operated taco truck serving SoCal and Baja-inspired cuisine. Not just fish tacos. They've got chicken and vegetarian options as well. And Bill with Copper Star, every time he's up here, he talks about the LBC fries.
So the LBC fries? What is that?
Lobster, bacon, and chorizo.
Oh, my God.
So I hear they're amazing.
I mean, lobster fries. Like, I'm here for this.
So Off the Hook is out there all day long, and they're currently serving breakfast options as well as we speak. Of course, inside, speaking of Bill with Copper Star Coffee, they're a locally owned coffee shop and cafe providing hand-blended drinks and award-winning baked goods. The Copper Star Coffee kiosk is up and running and operational inside here in the Hall of Dames, and they have fantastic muffins, breakfast bagels, and other tasty goodies as well. So make your way over there.
Very glad to hear they're up and running and operational, because if they weren't, I would not be up and running and operational.
This is also true.
So that's wonderful. We've got our jam getting started here with number 4, Bryn Diesel from San Diego, and that is 419 Pandemonium for Southside, who is currently stuck behind some San Diego blockers in the front. Bryn Diesel also stuck behind Southside, but is able to push through those blockers, and she is out your lead jammer for San Diego.
Pandemonium now trying to negotiate with Cheap Trick at the front of the pack with San Diego, but escorted off down to the infield with the help of another one of the San Diego blockers, and Bryn Diesel through the pack on a scoring pass now. There are 9 seconds to go in this jam. The pack makes their way down through the turn, and your Southside jammer, Pandemonium, now out of the pack.
She was able to leverage some of her own blockers there and get by on the high side, forcing that call off from the San Diego jammer. Coming up to jam for Southside this time, we've got Lola Chola.
And for San Diego, that's Tiger Lily.
Seeing both of these jammers a lot so far this morning, both doing some really good things. Both jammers stuck behind the respective walls built by Southside and San Diego.
Tiger Lily out of the front of the pack and just trying to drive through that front wall of Southside defenders by brute force. She's got one of them up to the wall and gets them pushed out of play.
November Payne holding Tiger Lily for a moment, but Tiger Lily able to struggle free. Lola Chola coming up fast behind Tiger Lily. Tiger Lily with a really smart move, puts her hands near her hips, ready to make that call as soon as she jumps the coping and gets those points.
3 points on the board for San Diego there from Tiger Lily.
Got Mermace ready to jam for Southside.
For San Diego, that's Mighty Ducky, number 13.
Mighty Ducky was looking towards the inside, nearly made it out, but was smashed to the infield by a Southside blocker. And once again getting taken to the infield by, I think that was a number, might have been 69 Star. Southside holding a good wall in the front, but gets pushed out of play, has to let the San Diego jammer go.
At the back of the pack, your Southside Jammer still trying to get free. There's a 2 wall of defenders back there that have been a thorn in her side throughout. And Mighty Ducky now able to make her way past the 2 defenders at the front of the pack for Southside out of Houston. Pack right in front of us now.
Mermaid's having a conversation with some of the San Diego blockers saying, hey, listen, I think it would be cool if you let me get through here actually in San Diego. Laughing along and saying, ha ha ha, this is great and fun and we love roller derby. I will not be letting you through though.
Setting up to jam for San Diego now is going to be Stiletto, and the jammer for Southside is number 8, Dolly B. Rotten. San Diego picked up 8 points in that previous jam. Extends their lead to 128-9 here in the early going of the second quarter.
I believe this is the first time we're seeing Dolly B. Rotten jam for Southside this morning.
I believe so as well.
And she is through lead jammer, and she's being chased down by Stiletto. Both extremely fast skaters.
Stiletto really bearing down there in the front straightaway, trying to pick up some ground. Dolly B. Rotten up into the pack, and Stiletto comes flying in late as well. Big collision there. Looks like everybody's back up on their skates, though. And Stiletto picks up 2 points during the jam. Stiletto,
and
2 points on the back end of the jam and no points for Southside. So Stiletto steals 2 points away.
Bout production crew for us here says, let there be lights. And we have more lights come on in the house. So if you weren't able to see before, you can see now.
All right, we've got a team timeout. San Diego is going to take a timeout here to talk things over. So we'll take a second to tell you about some more of our sponsors. We were talking about foodstuffs, and later on today, they got here about 4 o'clock yesterday, so probably about the same time this evening. The Fantasy Funnel Cake truck is a food truck that can make your fantasies come true. You can step outside and get a dessert to die for. They've got corn dogs, pretzels, churros, deep-fried Twinkies. It is delicious food for your face. Fantasy Funnel Cake. And they'll be here later on this afternoon. As I said, savory things, sweet things, warm churros. It's great stuff. So all kinds of great options to feed yourself. Plus, don't forget the Minor Assaults are having a bake sale right now to raise money for their trip to Battle on the Bank in June to defend their national title. They are selling popcorn and cake pops for $1 a piece, and that's at the Minor Assaults popcorn machine, which is just outside of turn number 2, down there at the...
And I believe, if I'm remembering this right, it's actually one of our teams who's skating right now, Southside Roller Derby, who will be hosting Battle on the Bank this year in June.
Is indeed correct. Battle on the Bank in Houston and Southside Roller Derby doing the honors. They'll be hosting it this season.
Super excited. All right, so speaking of Southside, we have, looks like Pandemonium again, ready to jam.
And jamming for San Diego is going to be Bryn Diesel, number 4. Bryn Diesel down to the inside, and there goes Bryn Diesel. Able to find an opening along the inside of the track, and she's her lead jammer for San Diego.
Got Slamurai, Heartland, and Taffy holding down some strong defense in the front. Pandemonium working to get through, using her blockers as her blockers change to offense and now switch back to defense to hold number 4, Bryn Diesel. Bryn Diesel able to get by on the low side, though.
Southside Jammer now is up into the front wall of San Diego defenders, and Pandemonium gets almost out of play and then does get them pushed out of play. Able to get up and get on by. Bryn Diesel collides with some defenders at the back of the pack and takes a tumble with just a couple seconds left on the jam clock. She's going to try to get a few more points.
It's always the best feeling as a jammer when you've struggled and pushed and fought, and then you hear that, out of play, and you're like, oh, thank God. They're going to let me go now. Whew. Wipe off your forehead. Thank
Setting
goodness.
up to jam for Southside is number 31, Lola Chola.
That's number 40, Tiger Lily. Jamming for San Diego. Lola Chola found an opening on the high, sprinted for it, and she's out with speed coming around the turn. Tiger Lily has busted out as well.
Two skaters almost exactly half a track apart.
Lola Chola taken to the high by one of those San Diego blockers.
It's interesting is they both came through the turn at opposite ends of the track at the exact same time. It was like watching cycling at the Olympics.
Whoa. Eerie.
The Chingadera Velodrome. We are looking at Mermace on the jammer line for Southside.
And looks like that's Stiletto. Yep.
And fighting her way to the front of the pack, there goes Stiletto as the lead jammer for San Diego. Mermace pinned in behind the San Diego defense.
Stuck behind Slamurai, and Heartland about to try and hold her in the front there. Takes her to the rail. Here comes Stiletto, able to find a clear lane.
So Stiletto threw on a scoring pass, and now
looks like there's been a star pass for Southside with number 89 Hot Tamale, your co-captain, taking that star, trying to stop the bleeding, and does in fact force that call off, so Stiletto calls that jam off. Dolly B. Rotten had a great first jam this morning for Southside. She's coming back to the line, trying to get Southside some points.
And jamming for San Diego is number 394, Eleanor. Jamming for the first time this morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Just under 6 minutes to go in the second quarter here as the pack makes their way into the back straightaway. There goes Eleanor along the inside, and Eleanor is your lead jammer for San Diego.
Dolly B. Rotten with an awesome jukey lateral move tricks the San Diego blocker into letting her skirt on around there. So she's coming back, forcing the San Diego call off. Got a blocker penalty, stopping penalty on one of the Southside blockers. So Southside will be sitting a blocker.
On the jammer line for San Diego is number 4, Bryn Diesel.
And Pandemonium for Southside.
And now they've finished assessing penalties from the previous jam, and it's going to be a power jam for Southside.
Southside doing a real quick switch to their power offense jammer. So now we have Lola Chola on the line, number 31, jamming this power jam for Southside. And she makes it out on the high, comes back around fast as anything. She's got a super focused look on her face. She's ready to get some points for her team. Held up in the back by Slamurai of San Diego, who's being goaded by Southside.
And a cheer goes up from the Southside bench of keep with it, you're doing great. Lola Chola now fighting her way to the front of the pack and trying to get that 5th point, able to get through on a scoring pass with 18 seconds to go in the power jam.
Taffy was the last blocker there, holding Lola Chola, pushed out of play and had to let her go.
Five seconds in the power jam now. Lola Chola trying to catch up and get a couple more points if she is able to. Catches up, and that's going to do it for the jam clock. We will wait for the score.
Some good execution of some strategies, goading, playing the accordion from Southside. Really seeing them becoming an up-and-coming team.
And that's 5 points for Southside on the board during the power jam. 3.5 minutes to go until halftime.
Pandemonium coming to jam for Southside. Bryn Diesel for San Diego.
And Bryn Diesel battles the way through the pack and is out and clear and is the lead jammer for San Diego.
Pandemonium still stuck behind those San Diego blockers, but is able to make an attempt at sneaking by on the low, but is caught up. Bryn Diesel doing a cool transition around the last blocker there. Able to come by for some more points.
And there goes Bryn Diesel weaving her way through the pack. 13 seconds to go in this jam. And Bryn Diesel coming around once again to try to put some more points on the board. And Brindisel through the pack and picks up another round of points before the whistle. $15 points on the board for San Diego during that jam. We're going to have an official timeout.
Looks like there were a lot of penalties assessed in that jam. It looks like
penalties,
yeah, I think they're going to be discussing that now. But from what I can see, it seems that we have a jammer penalty on south side, so we may end up with a power jam for San Diego. We will see what the refs say.
Well, it looks like
Abby,
right
show me that
now,
again.
it looks like there's a double jammer down situation, so
Right.
there's penalties on both jammers.
Yeah, I think you're right, and Abby took the board away from me, so I couldn't see.
There we
Yeah,
go.
show me that again. Thank you.
And I hear the announcers, excuse me, I hear the referees up here in the announcer's nest, the eyes in the sky, talking excitedly about a totem situation.
Yes,
so if that means
yes.
something to you. I know it's a thing.
It has to do with having, like, I think it's the situation that we have now where there's 3 blockers in the box from one team and basically both jammers from, yes, okay, cool.
All right. Indeed. All right. Well done.
We know things.
Yes. We've got our own Mike Pereira in the booth today. It's Becca Recker, our rules expert.
Rules expert, yeah. I'm working on it.
We'd like to go back to Becca Recker in Los Angeles. Becca, what did you see there?
I saw lots of roller derby being played really well.
Good job. Good analysis. All right. We are still crossing a T and dotting an I, and now we're ready to go. The pack is now at the proper strength.
Yes, Mermace jamming for Southside, and our San Diego jammer, that's Mighty Ducky, already out lead.
So San Diego right now has just 2 blockers.
I
And we're gonna
believe
take
we
a
may have had an
skater
injury.
down.
Everyone is
Take a
is
break
down.
in the action.
Yeah. Oh.
And there we are, the medical staff helping up the Southside skater, and she's heading back to the bench right now under her own power with a little bit of assistance from one of her teammates and medical crew. Good to see her back up and
Like
getting back over to the bench.
Like to take a moment to thank all of our volunteers, including our referees, and in this moment, particularly our medical crew, always with that urgency, ready to be there whenever a skater even looks like they might be hurt
No,
coming down off
absolutely.
the track. They're always there.
We're fond of saying we certainly don't hope they have to do anything during the night, but if they do, we're happy that they're here.
We can
so
always count on them.
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for
So,
being here.
Back to the game action. We are going to be looking at Mermace one more time for Southside. Back out
And
there after
Tiger
the break.
Lily again for San Diego.
We got 1:57 to go until halftime. Score right now, San Diego 170, Southside 18. And Tiger Lily able to get out of the pack along the high side of the track going through the corner, and she's your lead jammer for San Diego. And Tiger Lily trying to jump the apex of the turn, got bumped and ended up landing on her side. And then 3 skaters behind her tumbled down, and I heard somebody yell, sorry. So
Thankfully, everybody is okay back up on their
yes.
skates.
And polite, and polite.
And polite.
Tiger Lily now up into the pack, trying to get through for a scoring pass. There's a solid wall of pink defenders there along the back that is escorting her down to the inside.
Got some great defense being played by both teams.
And we have had a star pass. San Diego had passed the star on forward, and taking over was number 360, Isabel Ringer. But that is going to do it for the jam before any of that becomes a thing. So it's a moo point. Like they said on Friends, it's like the opinion of a cow, it doesn't matter.
It would appear that before that star was passed, number 40 Tiger Lily was assessed a cut penalty as a jammer. So we will be, well, actually before we make that official, we've got an official timeout so the refs can discuss.
Yep. Make sure we've got everything set up there. A lot of moving parts involved.
I was about to use my excited Power Jam voice, but I'll reserve it until I'm sure that that's what's going on.
So we will take a look at some more of our tournament sponsors as well to let you know. We let you know about Copper Star Coffee. They are, of course, a longtime sponsor as well. We can also let you know about Lost Dutchman Tattoo. Lost Dutchman Tattoo Shop specializes in various styles from realism to traditional, and you can customize your own tattoo as well. Skaters, you can get a $50 custom 3-inch tattoo to commemorate the occasion. Appointments are available today, Sunday, and they're not far at all from the Hall of Dames. So if you're here in town and want to get a little something to mark the occasion, talk to any Arizona skater. They'll put you in touch with Lost Dutchman. They're located at 4121 North 19th Avenue. It's the east side of 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School Road. It's Lost Dutchman Tattoo. We'd also like to let you know about Zoyo Frozen Yogurt. They're located on the corner of 7th Avenue and McDowell. If you're looking for a treat, visit Zoyo. They offer a delicious assortment of self-serve frozen yogurt as well as flavors and toppings, sure to satisfy. Zoyo Frozen Yogurt. Stop by Siphon Jaw Apothecary Shop booth over by Merch. They produce all natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skincare products made by our very own Dolly de los Muertos. Visit their booth by the merchandise window or visit them at the Goldfield Ghost Town on Historic Highway 88. Siphon Jaw Apothecary Shop.
And speaking of dollies, we have Dolly B. Rotten number 8 for Southside skating this Power Jam for Southside.
Southside picking up a power jam there after the referee review, and we got everything squared away and sorted out.
Got Southside blockers strategically keeping a goat in the back and got playing some offense for their jammer. Dolly B. Rotten knocked to the infield, though, by Slamurai.
And that's Taffy at the back of the pack behind that 4 wall of Southside defenders. And finally, at the front of the pack, there goes Dolly B. Rotten, and she is out and clear. So now she'll be coming around with 18 seconds left on the power jam clock.
Yeah, Slamurai and Heartland are nobody to trifle with. Neither is Taffy here as she hits number 8, Dolly B. Rotten, as Dolly comes through on another pass.
So we will check the official score. And it's a 4-point power jam for Southside, able to pick up a 4th point there, got her hips in front of one skater there at the very end of the jam. So that is going to take us to the halftime break. We are going to step aside for a 15-minute halftime period. Your score right now, San Diego 174, Southside 22. Attention all referees. Attention all referees. Currently in attendance, the referee picture is taking place right now in front of the Derby Dames mural in the first turn. All referees, please report to the track for the referee photo. And I would like to just take a second, and everybody in attendance, if you could please, let's give a hand to the referees. The referees are here donating their own time to make sure that this thing runs smoothly and keeps all the skaters from just punching each other in the face for 2 hours. So fantastic job by the referee staff. Made up of referees from all over, a lot of referees from our home league here, but also refs from, I believe all of the teams that came to visit also sent some referees as well. So that's a big effort up there, keeping things running smoothly for the games throughout today. All right, Derby fans, we are ready to get underway. It is time for the second half of the bout. Your score right now, San Diego 174, Southside 22.
Got Pandemonium coming to jam for Southside with Heartland on the line for San Diego for the first time this morning.
And we are underway.
Got a bit of a light pack out there. 3 blockers for Southside and only 2 blockers for San Diego. Even so, Heartland makes it out lead first.
Heartland able to push her way through, and Heartland is lead for San Diego. The pack making their way down the back straightaway and up into the far turn now as Pandemonium tries to find her way past that San Diego 2-wall at the front of the pack. And Heartland along the safety rail here right in front of the announcer nest, and Heartland able to get through the pack on the front straightaway on a scoring pass.
Pandemonium hit hard to the infield by Reckham Ralph.
There's a dozen seconds to go in this jam, and there's Heartland making her way right through the pack on another scoring pass, able to find her way past the last 2 Southside defenders. And that's going to do it for the jam clock. Ten-point jam on the board for San Diego to get things going here in the second half. A few seconds into the third quarter, and it looks like we've got Lola Chola on the line for Southside.
Reckham Ralph was doing a good job blocking that last jam, but unfortunately picked up 2 arms penalties, so San Diego will be sitting a blocker. We've got Bryn Diesel out there jamming for San Diego with Lola Chola for Southside.
And both jammers out of the pack at roughly the same time. Bryn Diesel out in front, slightly in as your lead jammer with Lola Chola right in behind. Bryn Diesel.
But Lola Chola is too fast for comfort, so Bryn Diesel ends that jam before giving up any points.
Bryn Diesel had an inkling for a second to make it a jammer race, and then I think thought better of it. So we will move forward to the next jam with no points for either side. That's going to be number 413 Mermace for Southside.
And I think that's Mighty Ducky. Yes, it is for San Diego.
And tiptoeing along the inside and able to dodge that block by Star in the corner. There goes Mighty Ducky. Lucky Ducky, too. Mighty Ducky is your lead jammer for San Diego.
Mermace being held up by Isabel Ringer and Cheap Trick towards the back of the pack there. Southside doing a good job with a 2-wall of Dolly B. Rotten and somebody else who I can't see, who are holding down some good defense. But Mighty Ducky makes it out. Calls the jam off.
That'll do it for the jam. 5 points on the board for San Diego.
Puts the score at 22 Southside, 189 San Diego. We've got Tiger Lily coming back to the line for San Diego.
And Violent Viking for Southside.
Tiger Lily nearly able to take that low lane, but knocked out by Southside. Now we have Tiger Lily pushing the Southside blockers out of play. They have to let her go, and Tiger Lily is your lead jammer. Violent Viking still held up in the back by a strong San Diego 4-wall now. Violent Viking not getting a lot of purchase, but she's got some blockers back there to help play offense for her. Here comes Tiger Lily. I believe the time ran out on that jam there.
Yeah, it looked like it. Clock blew up on the jam. Another 5 points on the board for San Diego. And on the jammer line now is going to be Heartland for San Diego.
And for Southside, Pandemonium. Doing a lot of jamming this morning.
tightly bunched pack as they make their way down towards the turn. There was a skater, just kind of went skates up there, tumbling down into the infield. It was a cheap trick for San Diego. Fighting her way around the outside and emerging as lead jammer is Hartland.
All right. And we've got Pandemonium, who was able to struggle on through the front, and she is coming around to put some pressure on Heartland, who is knocked to the infield. Heartland's going to need to get back up real quick, and she's able to. And she calls that jam off before Pandemonium can steal lead jammer status from her. Number 4, Bryn Diesel, coming to the line to jam for San Diego with Lola Chola for Southside.
And before we get to that, we did get a penalty reported in. Jammer penalty on San Diego. We have a power jam for Southside. Lola Chola out there all by her lonesome now for the power jam for Southside from Houston.
Taken down hard by Riled Up from San Diego. Riled Up covering the high lane, covering the low lane, keeping Lola Chola in, but Lola Chola is able to break away from her. She's on the high side and is able to push past Riled Up and past Slamurai. Lola Chola coming around fast, trying to get some points for her team on this power jam. Some excellent timing of defense to offense switch by Southside. They are all now ready to play offense and get their jammer out of the pack. San Diego has a really strong defense, though, and they are currently successfully holding Lola Chola up as Lola Chola watches for her teammates who can hopefully open up a lane for her.
And that'll do it for the power jam. It is really interesting, and looking at it from this angle where we are, you could really see the San Diego defenders. Every time one of them shook loose, it was like an unstoppable fount of people coming up from the inside of the track. Like that's what they call recycling.
Yes.
And executed to a T there, absolutely. So
yeah,
the power
beautifully
jam
executed.
nets 4 points for Southside, takes them up to 26 for the jam.
Got Bryn Diesel for San Diego and Mermaids for Southside. Got some loud communication happening on the track there. And that's always a good thing, so your teammates know what's going on. We've got Bryn Diesel struggling out the front of the pack, was held up by a Southside blocker, Star. But Bryn Diesel makes it out.
Bryn Diesel, your lead jammer, now up to the pack, and with some help from her blockers, gets right on through on a scoring pass. 20 seconds to go in this jam. And Bryn Diesel coming down the back straightaway looking for some more, while Mermace is up to the front of the pack now and trying to get free of those San Diego blockers.
Ooh, Bryn Diesel taken down hard. I believe that was a hit by Star. Mermace makes it out of the pack after taking some hard hits to the rail. I think she's got some, I think that was a hard hit. She seems to be a little bit sore from that. San Diego definitely delivering some hard hits. Quite frankly, I've seen some hard hits from all kinds of teams this weekend already.
We are going to have an official timeout here so the referees can talk a little bit and talk about what was going on there in the previous jam. So with exactly 7 minutes to go until the end of the third quarter. Say, Becker, it appears that you have eyes. Is that correct?
Last time I checked, I did, and I believe they, yep, here they are. Yeah, they're still here.
All right, so you've seen the amazing team signs here along the front straightaway in the warehouse.
I've seen them several times, like at least 3 times.
Well, Above and Beyond Pallet Creations takes pallets and gives them a second life. For more information or to commission work, see Bobby Ross, the coach of our Schoolyard Scrappers. Or you can look up Above and Beyond Pallet Creations on Facebook. He's created all the fantastic artwork here in the Hall of Dames, our standings board, our team signs, and the mural on the far wall. So fabulous.
Bobby Ross is an example of one of the many people we have in our league who plays multiple roles, wears multiple hats. He's also the coach for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Pretty awesome. We got a bunch of great volunteers here. We have the lead jammer, number 13 for San Diego. That's Mighty Ducky. Coming around with the Southside jammer. Still stuck behind Riled Up, who takes her to the infield.
Mighty Ducky making her way down the back straightaway now and looking for some points, while Violent Viking deposited on the infield by Riled Up. Mighty Ducky right on through with Violent Viking now once again trying to find an opening. Now Violent Viking's going to shift to defense and play some jammer defense here, trying to help out her two blockers.
Violent Viking able to make it out now after, as you said, Greg being held up by Riled Up. Riled Up is a blocker from San Diego. She was previously with their junior team and graduated up to the adults. She actually moved to Arizona briefly and skated with us for just a little while before moving back to California. We miss her a lot. We think she's pretty great, and she's a great blocker. It's not a lot of fun to get blown up by her, I'll tell you that.
And we do have a team timeout taken by Southside. So we will step aside from the action for just a moment, let them talk things over here and catch their breath. We'd like to let you know about Devastation. Devastation is your go-to shop for everything on wheels, from the raddest of rad roller skates to the bomb.com light-up wheels spinning on slicker than slick ball bearings. Let us help you find the perfect ride and gear to keep you protected while you're cruising. Offering nearly everything skate-related, from nuts and stops to tools and bags on flashy wheels. Come check out the skate ninjas that sling them unicorn boots and be ready for the world of skating to make things right again. It's Devastation.
And roller skating sure does make things right again. Speaking of making things right, we have a challenge called by Southside. So the refs are currently discussing whether they will uphold their call or whether they will overturn it. So we're having some discussion from the refs. So over the course of these long tournament weekends, so many bouts that these teams are playing back-to-back. It's really quite incredible to see skaters going in several bouts over the course of 2 days. If you as a skater or you as a spectator are, in need of an excellent massage after this weekend, which, you probably are, let's be honest, you can check out This Is Bliss Massage. They are transforming lives one massage at a time, offering massage treatments in their Tempe office. Tempe is quite near here. And via their mobile massage unit. They specialize in Swedish, deep tissue, Reiki, and much more. If you need to schedule a massage with them after this long weekend, text or call the number 480-406-1314 to schedule an appointment. That's This Is Bliss Massage.
And we are getting the official word up here from the referees right now. So that went from a team timeout and was turned into a challenge situation by Southside. So Southside challenging a ruling in the previous jam. Head referee Tabitha Christie right now is explaining what's going on to the teams.
Cheer goes up from Southside, so we'll see. Seems like that challenge was in fact rather the penalty was overturned.
So another successful challenge by Southside. And we've got everything all set. Timeout credited back to Southside as that became an official timeout. And then the successful challenge overturned the penalty. So we are set to go.
Got Pandemonium for Southside and Tiger Lily for San Diego.
So you're saying we have a panda and a tiger out there?
Yep.
All right. Tiger Lily to the front of the pack now, trying to maneuver her way around those last couple of blockers for Southside, and they are out of play. Like Becca Recker said, that's what every jammer wants to hear is out of play, because then you're able to go on around.
It sure is. Got Reckham Ralph and Helenor and one other blocker from San Diego, holding down some strong defense there.
There goes Tiger Lily through the pack on a scoring pass with about 14 seconds to go in this jam. Your Southside Jammer still trying to find her way along the inside. Now tries to loop up around the outside up to the front of the pack. Being held in by that last San Diego defender, though, not able to find her way through. A little far away for me to see who that was. Is that 360?
Yes.
All right. Well, good defense on that play specifically by number 360, Isabel Ringer. Absolutely. Out there on the front end of the pack.
Yeah, I saw Hedy Lascar playing some good offense out there as well. We've got LaChoya back on the line for Southside, ready to jam.
And jamming for the first time in this bout, number 408, Taffy.
Saw Taffy do some great jamming yesterday. She was almost out and clear on the low and got hit real hard by a Southside blocker. Southside blocker in the front is out of play and has to let Taffy go. Taffy's your lead jammer for San Diego.
Taffy is pulling on around the turn and heading up the back straightaway now. Lola Chola out of the pack on the front end.
Lola Chola was almost taken to the inside, but with some excellent footwork, held on to the coping there and made it around, forcing that San Diego call off.
Taffy tried to stretch that one out as long as she could, but had to call off the jam. And we are going to have a break in the action here momentarily. Took an official timeout there for just a moment. We did have one of the skaters for Southside look like she took a tumble there at the end of that jam and is being held back to the bench. So, brief moment to step aside for an official timeout while we get everything situated here. Another one of our longtime league sponsors, as well as a sponsor of Chingadera, the Nutrition One School Lunch Program. Food is the energy that growing children need, providing healthy, great-tasting, and freshly prepared whole foods to local schools valley-wide. Nutrition One works closely with the Department of Education and the USDA to make sure our children are getting what they need daily to stay focused and get the best out of their school lunch. Nutrition One School Lunch Program.
Just had a comment that if you're not looking at the announcer's booth, you're really missing out because old Greg and me, Becker Ecker up here, we're just having a dance-off to this song. If you're not jamming out, what are you doing with your life? This is a very catchy song. Yeah. Well, while me and old Greg are jamming out up here, we've got Mermace and Bryn Diesel about to jam out on the track for Southside and San Diego, respectively.
3 minutes and 25 seconds to go here in the third quarter as we get ready to get back to action. Got some
blockers being pulled down from the track.
Checking with the penalty box, making sure the numbers are right. All right, this jam is underway. Bryn Diesel down to the inside, bumps into Star, and then up to the outside, trying to find her way around, and is able to do so. Bryn Diesel, lead jammer for San Diego.
Mermace being stuck behind Wreck-It Ralph, Cheap Trick, and Nocturne Alley, who are holding some strong defense, while Isabel Ringer is giving some instruction as the pivot.
Bryn Diesel able to maneuver through like she's on a slalom course. Found her way down the back straightaway again. 21 seconds to go in this jam. Bryn Diesel coming around for another scoring pass now. And this time bumps into a defender for Southside.
Southside was real focused on playing offense and getting their jammer out, knowing that that's the best way to force that call off. They are successful. They're able to get their jammer out, and she is now coming around, putting some pressure on Bryn Diesel, who has to jump back on the track and call that off as quick as she can.
Setting up for the next jam, we are going to have Dolly B. Rotten for Southside.
And number 13, Mighty Ducky for San Diego. And looks like actually Mighty Ducky is being called down. So we do currently have a power jam for Southside, which will be skated by Dolly B. Rotten.
Dolly B. Rotten ready to do the power jam, and we are ready to go in this jam.
We do have a sparse pack. We've got only 2 blockers on the track from Southside with some penalties being sat. Only 3 blockers from San Diego. We'll see if Southside can take advantage of this power jam scenario. Got riled up in Slamurai and number 805, Hedy Lascar, holding it down for San Diego. Crash and Burn and our other blocker for Southside, number 82, Daisy Nukes, doing a good job playing some offense. They're able to spring Dolly B. Rotten loose.
Dolly B. Rotten now approaching the pack. The San Diego defenders able to get together on the front of the pack, so they're trying to play keep away, but Dolly B. Rotten able to catch up to him. And she is forced up into the rail and calls off the power jam, burning off those last few seconds off the clock. And it's a 5-point power jam for Southside. Checking in, she did get her hips in front of that last defender, so that 5th point is up on the board. Setting up the jam now, we've got Mighty Ducky for San Diego, and that is Pandemonium for Southside.
Mighty Ducky saw that low lane, just went sprinting for it, nearly was out, and Southside with a last-minute well-timed hit took her out. She reset and made it out eventually on the high side to attain lead jammer status. So Mighty Ducky coming around for points. Got Pandemonium still being held up in the back there.
Halfway through this jam now, and the quarter clock has expired, so this will take us up to the quarter break. 23 seconds left in the jam. Mighty Ducky threw on a scoring pass, and will be coming around for more.
Mighty Ducky sees a opportunity to play some offense for herself, and then after that, she's got a clear lane, so she makes it through on that pass.
And there we are at the end of the quarter. Another 10-point jam for, 10-point jam for San Diego. 10 points on the board. Our score heading into the quarter break is going to be 252-31, and we'll be back after 5 minutes with the 4th quarter of this bout.
And the next quarter will begin with 2 Southside blockers in the box. So we'll see how that goes in the 4th quarter. And we're back for more Derby action with the fourth quarter of this game. We've got number 40, Tiger Lily, jamming for San Diego with 31, Lola Chola for Southside. Lola Chola making it out on the low, and she is lead for Southside.
Emerging from the pack there in behind her, there is Tiger Lily out as well, so Lola Chola going to see what she can get on this scoring pass. Lola Chola trying to get through the pack, went up the incline, up into the guardrail, went ahead and called off the jam there. Picked up 1 point before calling off the jam. Looks like we've got Taffy for San Diego.
And number 413, Mermaids for Southside.
And there goes Taffy. She's your lead jammer for San Diego. Taffy jammed a lot in the second bout for San Diego last night here at the tournament. Has not jammed very much so far today, but seemed to have some success last night and doing well here as well.
Taffy taken to the inside by number 721, Mojo, your captain for Southside. Now she's held up in the front by some Southside blockers. There was an attempt by Violent Viking to blow her up on the inside. Taffy was able to hold her ground, though, and make it by on the low. Mermaid still trapped behind some very effective San Diego blocking.
About 5 seconds to go here in the jam as Taffy makes her way out of the pack and completes another scoring pass just before the whistle.
I've heard a number of joyful noises from various jammers and blockers this morning. Just love that you all love roller derby so much. And I'm glad you're here.
I do see that Taffy is in the penalty box, so we have a power jam for Southside. It's going to be Dolly B. Rotten, number 8 on the jammer line for Southside Roller Derby.
Dolly B. Rotten's
elite team.
Yes, she's been doing a great job for the power jams for Southside. And she's here to skate one again. And she is jumping high, jumping low, trying to get around Slamurai and riled up.
Still trying to make her way through that front wall defense halfway through the power jam here, and you can see she gets up to the outside, tries to find purchase, and then those 3 defenders just kind of log roll her down until she's on the infield.
Dolly's got some offense being played by number 311, Evil Eye Candy, and is able to get loose. We've got Southside attempting to keep a goat in the back, but that is Stiletto, who is so slippery. Gets out from being goated.
And the clock expires on the power jam while Dolly B. Rotten was trying to make her way through the pack on a scoring pass. And Dolly B. Rotten picks up 4 points during the jam.
During that jam, each team had a blocker pick up a penalty. So in this jam, each team will be skating 1 blocker down.
And it looks like we've got Pandemonium for Southside.
And number 4, Brinddiesel, back to the line for San Diego. Brinddiesel is out, lead jammer in turn 1. Pandemonium was nearly out there and is being held up now by Wreckham Ralph. And I believe that's number 394, Eleanor.
Bryn Diesel out and clear as lead jammer here with a little bit more than half of the jam gone.
Ralph guiding Pandemonium to the high, to the low, and back to the low as Pandemonium is struggling to get out. Bryn Diesel coming back around, turn 4, trying to catch up with the pack and get some more points.
And that'll do it. The clock expires on the jam. Bryn Diesel executing another scoring pass before the clock expires.
Got Heartland coming to the line, 2 jam for San Diego. With Lola Chola coming up, getting ready to jam, but it looks like the jammer for Southside actually got 2 penalties in the last jam. So Southside will be down a jammer. We've got a power jam for San Diego, and Heartland ready to do her best to pick up all of the points for San Diego, while Southside is going to hold down that power D.
And Heartland right down Main Street, able to find an opening in the middle of the track and is out and clear of the pack.
Evil Eye Candy trying to hold her at the front, but Heartland is a strong jammer who can play some offense for herself as well. As we see evidenced again here, as Heartland knocks number 629, Crash and Burn, and Heartland is out again for another attempt at a scoring pass.
23 seconds to go here in the San Diego Power Jam, and Heartland is through and coming around for scoring pass number 3.
Receiving some help from Taffy in the front there. Ooh, and a couple people go down hard. Bit of confusion. We're all back up, though. And Heartland goes ahead and says, yeah, that got a little weird. That's enough points for me. Let's move on to the next jam. It's weird. You know, you wouldn't think there'd be falling when you have wheels on your feet and a tilted track. It's you'd think everyone would just be perfectly stable. I don't know.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Boggles the mind.
It looks like we've got Lola Chola coming out there and jamming for Southside. And she's number 31. Number 13, Mighty Ducky for San Diego out there. Mighty Ducky is out of the pack, but Lola Chola out first, and she's lead jammer.
Lola Chola is out lead. She only has 2 blockers helping her out, but they are doing a good job springing their jammer out first. Playing some offense now.
And we did have a lead change. Lola Chola up to the high side and was not able to signal the call off the jam. Mighty Ducky able to push slightly past her. Mighty Ducky now making her way through the pack, trying to get past that last skater, and does so. Lola Chola still pinned in at the back of the pack.
We had about 7 league changes back to back there as both jammers were sat down hard in the infield and switched back and forth a couple times.
And I've got to apologize. I'm going to say Lucky Ducky at least once more before this bout ends. And now that I've said it and it's in my head, now your name is Mighty Ducky, and I'm sorry. We are ready to go. The next jam is Tiger Lily for San Diego.
And 413, that is Mermaids jamming again for Southside.
And Tiger Lily able to get those last 3 Southside blockers pushed out of play, and she is clear.
Ooh, Tiger Lily coming in ready to slam into the seams of the pack. Unfortunately runs into one of her own blockers, and now she's being held up by the Southside defensive wall. But Riled comes in playing some offense. And Tiger Lily is taken to the infield again. That was by the Southside blocker in the front there. Number 629. Crash and Burn. Mermaids being held up by Slamurai in the back there and taken to the infield. Had an attempt at a scoring pass. Stiletto was about to, actually had the star in her hand, was about to get going, and the jam ended.
So stepping up to the jammer line now for San Diego, number 4, Bryn Diesel, and for Southside, number 8, Dolly B. Rotten.
2 jammers up there, smiles on their faces, saying good morning. And number 1022, Heartland, saying good morning to Dolly B. Rotten and knocking her down. While number 4, Bryn Diesel, is out. Lead jammer coming around for points.
And Bryn Diesel making her way through the back part of the pack, halfway through this jam.
Southside playing some strong defense in the front there. Had Bryn Diesel taken to the inside. We had a big hit by number 127, Violent Viking. but Bryn Diesel was able to get by. Dolby Rotten hanging out in the back, ready to play some defense for Southside, and the jam clock runs out.
And we do have an official timeout demonstratively signaled by our game executioner, and a fantastic job of getting everybody's attention. So we will step aside from the action here just momentarily. Apparently, the word that we got from the infield is there's a lot of penalties to sort out. So a lot of action there. Whenever there's a 60-second long scrum like that, there does tend to be a lot of penalties there in the trenches. So we'd like to let you know that we're getting right back to the action. That's what we want to let you know. Stepping up to the jammer line for San Diego, appears to be somebody who's jamming for the first time.
Yes, that is Reckham Ralph for San Diego for the first time this morning. And number 419, Pandemonium. Reckham Ralph is out, though, for San Diego. She's coming around as your lead jammer. We've seen some great blocking from Reckham Ralph this morning, and now she's jamming like a pro, coming up against the Southside defense, but seeing an open lane on the low and taking that quick as anything.
Halfway through this jam, and Reckham Ralph now coming on around. It looks like the Southside jammer now focusing on defense as well, so it's a 5-wall at the back of the pack trying to hold up Reckham Ralph. Reckham Ralph down to the inside, and with some help from her blockers, able to get through on a scoring pass, and it'll be coming around again. There's Reckham Ralph now to the outside. The jam clock has expired. We'll wait and get a tally on the points there for Reckham Ralph during that jam. And it's a 12-point jam for Reckham Ralph in San Diego. Now jamming for San Diego, number 394, Eleanor.
And 31, Lola Chola for Southside. Eleanor knocked to the infield by Star from Southside.
Lola Chola trying to just swim her way through the pack right now. Trying to go around the outside. Lola Chola racing to the corner, and she's your lead jammer for Southside.
Found that beautiful open lane on the high.
Lola Chola tried to go by on the inside and was bumped onto the wrong side of the coping there, so she gets up and reestablishes. And trying to fight her way through and goes ahead and calls off the jam. And we have a double jammer down situation. Penalties assessed to both jammers in the previous jam, so both teams get a jammer. So we've got Taffy for San Diego, number 408.
And number 413, Mermace, with joy in her heart, ready to jam for Southside.
And
but
it looks like we are going to have another official timeout. You get the penalties sorted out there, make sure we got everything going on correctly. So 2:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. Clock is going to stop for just a moment. And we'll cross some I's and dot some T's. We'd like to let you know, for reals this time, mark your calendars, season 14 for the Arizona Derby Dames. Heats up with our next bout on March 9th. This game is a doubleheader featuring 4 of our home teams from the Arizona Derby Dames. To start the night off, season 13 champions, the Runaway Brides, will be fighting with those playground bullies, the Schoolyard Scrappers. The second game of the night will be those Morglovin Coffin Draggers against the post-apocalyptic Doomsday Valkyries, all right here at the Hall of Dames, Saturday, March 9th, 6 p.m.
You should be there. I'll be there. I'll be on the track skating.
I'll be there.
Awesome. Wouldn't have it any other way. Got number 408 Taffy out lead jammer for San Diego, while Mermace is being held up by number 13. That is Mighty Ducky. Mighty Ducky, we've seen jam a lot. Just saw her play currently playing some real effective defense, but Mermace is able to get past Mighty Ducky, knocked to the rail by Slamurai with assistance from Mighty Ducky.
And Taffy threw the pack on a second scoring pass, and with 25 seconds to go in the jam, we'll be coming around for number 3 here. Southside Jammer trying to get by along the inside, bumped off onto the infield. Hetty Lascar says it's Headley and bumps her off onto the infield.
Mermason, her 2 blockers on the track, trying to get together to play some defense.
And that'll do it for the clock. Taffy, it was mid-pack as the clock expired. And it's an 8-point jam for Taffy and San Diego. 1 minute to go in regulation, 1 minute.
4:19 Pandemonium for Southside with number 4 Bryn Diesel for San Diego up to jam one of the last jams of this game. First game this morning on our second day of our wonderful Chingadera tournament.
As a correction, it's an 18-point jam for Taffy and San Diego.
Oh, wow.
Everything is now all set and square. That's Bryn Diesel, number 4. And Bryn Diesel is out and around those blockers at the front of the pack. And Bryn Diesel, not in any tremendous hurry, will come on around to the pack here. Bryn Diesel up to the pack.
Pandemonium doing some football pushes. She's really pushing hard on those San Diego blockers, but they are just so tough holding down some defense, but Pandemonium really working hard.
Bryn Diesel again through the pack. And it looks like the idea is to let the jam clock expire so that this will do it for the game, and they can do so. We've got about an 11-second differential between the jam clock and the game clock. And the game clock hits quadruple zeros.
Bryn seeing an open lane there and taking that. Coming back around. Pandemonium been moving her feet this whole jam, not giving up till the whistle.
And it's a 15-point jam for San Diego to close things out. We will check here and see what the penalty situation is, if there will be any penalty jams. Head referee Tabitha Christie checking in with everybody on the referee crew and with the signal. That is going to do it. This first bout of the day is all over. Your final score, San Diego 349, Southside 42. Come on down trackside and slap hands with your favorite skaters as they come on around. And let's hear it for both teams for being here and competing at a very, very, very early time in the morning. So we will step aside very briefly. We will be back at exactly 11 a.m. with the beginning of the next bout. Team introductions in about 10 minutes, and we'll get underway at 11 o'clock with our next bout of the morning.
See you back here in 10 minutes. Thank you, skaters, for being excellent. And look at that. That was adorable. I can't with you guys. I can with you guys. Please keep doing what you're doing. All right, roller derby fans, we are back with our next bouts. I'm Becca Recker. I'm here ready to introduce your Texas Roller Derby All-Star Army. Skating today for the All-Star Army, we've got number 1031, Jackie Lantern, 1945, John Wayne Gay, 20, Zelda Fitzgerald, number 24, Depeche a la Mode, number 222, Scarlet Knockout, number 244, Dammit Jammit, number 247, Jose Cuervo, number 29, Copperhead, number 616, Scapegoat, number 62, Slayana Mormont, number 9, Ruth Badger Jukesberg, and this morning your co-captain for the All-Star Army is going to be number 42, Mostly Harmless, and your captain, number elite, Joliet Jane.
Skating this morning for the Tilted Thunder Railbirds All-Stars from Seattle, Washington. Number 0, Novocaine. Number 00, Elophobia. Number 11, Baby Anarchy. Number 120, Hammond. Number 25, Amelia Bearheart. Number 313, Hawk Blocked. Number 428, Carney Aslada. Number 5, Tara Hoedown. Number 616, Craven Cadavers. Number size 9, La Chancla. Your co-captain this morning, number 425, Legs Get 'em. And your captain this morning, number 51, Slaughterhouse. Getting underway here very shortly, literally less than a minute.
There's a skater missing from my TXRD list. There's also Skeletina, number 1012, out there skating for Texas. And that whistle indicates the beginning of our second bout of our second day of Chingadera.
Starting things off, jamming for Texas, number 616, Scapegoat. And for
number 425, Legs Get 'em, your co-captain for TTRB. Ooh, Scapegoat taken down hard in the back by Elophobia, with Legs Get 'em, your co-captain, out lead for TTRB, running along the high side there to make it out.
And there is Scapegoat making their way out of the pack as well. So putting the pressure on Legs Get 'em to get what she can during the jam here. And Legs Get 'em goes ahead and calls it off rather than giving up any points to the hard charging Scapegoat. It's interesting, announcing in a tournament. It just occurred to me as I looked at the number on the back of the jammer for Seattle.
I know what you're going to say.
And I said, that's number 425. And then it occurred to me, I haven't announced a Seattle bout yet.
Well.
So I had to look down at my roster and figure out who I was looking at.
Yep, now we know. So let's get familiar with some of our Seattle skaters.
Absolutely.
We've got number 51, Slaughterhouse, who just made lead for TTRB. She's coming around, while number elite, Joliet Jane for TXRD, grabbing hold of one of her own skaters to take a whip off of, and she is coming around to put the pressure on Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse, number 5'1", calls off the jam there mid-pack. Joliet Jane was coming on from around the corner. Setting up to jam now for Texas, that's going to be Skeletina.
And Elophobia for Seattle.
The slight height difference between the two jammers.
Just a little bit.
A slight height difference.
They might be like a couple inches, you know, Skeletina might be a couple inches shorter than Elophobia.
Before we get to that, game executioner Obi-Wan Cannoli. He is rocking the rocking the snot out of that hat. Obi-Wan Cannoli down there. And we're going to have an official timeout. So before we get to the next jam, we're going to talk that one over a little bit.
I would like to tell you guys about the seat cushions that we have available. Have you been sitting on a hard bench all of yesterday and you've gotten here today and you're like, gee, I want to watch more roller derby, but these seats, I'm kind of sick and tired of them. I would like something soft to sit upon. Well, for the low, low price of $7, you can pick up a seat cushion at our Arizona Derby Dames merch booth. Skeletina and Elaphobia back to the jammer line, ready to go now.
Both jammers trying to fight their way through. Elaphobia trying to tiptoe along the coping on the inside of the turn, but Skeletina able to outrun her to the corner. Skeletina out first for Texas with Elaphobia in close behind and gaining with big strides as they head down the back straightaway. Skeletina fleet of foot herself, one of our better jammers for Arizona, filling in and helping out our friends from Texas. And she gets through, picks up the points that she can and calls off the jam. Picks up 2 points for Texas. Our score here in the very early going, 5-2.
Got number 9, Ruth Badger Jukesburg, coming to jam for Texas in what appears to be a power jam for TXRD.
Indeed, Elaphobia parked in the penalty box, so Ruth Badger Jukesburg is out there by her lonesome for Texas.
Looks like the jammer picked up an arms penalty in that last jam. So here comes Ruth Badger Jukesburg, juking around. Being held up by Novocaine, slammed to the rail by Novocaine, but she is able to make it out with the other Seattle blocker being out of play.
Those Texas defenders united in the back of the pack in a solid four-wall. As Ruth Badger Jukesburg now coming up quickly, the Seattle pivot takes a tumble. Big collision at the front of the pack. One of the blockers goes down with Ruth Badger Jukesburg. 15 seconds to go in the power jam, trying to find her way past those blockers on the front end of the pack, one of whom is Novocaine. Arizona fans know that's not going to be an easy task. And that'll do it. The clock expires on the power jam.
Got Legs Get'em, your co-captain for Seattle, ready to jam for TTRB.
Don't see a Texas jammer out there, so looks like we've got a power jam. Yep, indeed, a penalty on Ruth Badger Jukesburg. So it's going to be a power jam for Seattle.
Got a bit of a power jam trade-off there. Legs Get'em given a good shoulder check by 616 Scapegoat. But Legs Get'em able to keep her skates under her and is out on her scoring pass. Got John Wayne Gay being goaded in the back by Seattle. And Legs Get'em able to get by those Texas blockers in the front. Can see both teams executing some good strategy. Seattle making sure to keep that pack slow as best they can so that their jammer can get around and get more points. Legs Get'em taken to the infield by John Wayne Gay. Fun fact, John Wayne Gay used to skate for Arizona back in the day, and she is not one to mess with.
That'll do it. The clock expires on the jam.
Before we could see anything, I think as I said that, John Wayne Gay went in for a shoulder check, but the clock expired, so Legs Get'em was safe from that. We've got a couple jammers on the jammer line who are in such low stances I can't tell who the heck they are.
Jamming for Texas, that's number 62, Slayana Mormont.
And somebody for Seattle, because they are wearing a red jersey, so that's definitely a Seattle jammer. That's Craven Cadavers. Thank you, audience. Jamming for Seattle.
Very helpful from the audience.
Craven making it by on the low. Joliet Jane making a good attempt to knock her off, but Craven staying afloat. We've got number 62 for Texas, Slayana Mormont, coming up fast on Craven. So Craven forced to call off that jam.
I like how at a roller derby bout, it's a perfectly natural thing for somebody in the audience to scream out, "That's Craven!" And we all know exactly what they mean.
Yep.
Stepping up to the jammer line for Texas now is Skeletina, going up against Ellaphobia for Tilted Thunder. Trying to find her way past that defense as Ellaphobia finds an opening there. Had some blockers up to the front of there, keeping those Texas blockers in check, and Ellaphobia able to get right to the corner, and she's your lead jammer.
Skeletina's out as well.
And Ellaphobia looks ahead, sees Skeletina out there, and calls off the jam.
Got Ruth Badger Jukesburg gonna jam for Texas with number 11, Baby Anarchy for Seattle, who we've seen some really cool stuff from this weekend, taking Ruth to the infield right off the jammer line, playing some jammer offense. And Baby Anarchy is out as your lead jammer for Seattle.
Baby Anarchy now runs squarely into the back of a Texas defender coming through the corner with a full head of steam.
And Ruth Badger Ginsburg has, or Jukesburg, excuse me, has actually passed the star to Joliet Jane, who is now able to get through with the Seattle blockers getting out of play in the front.
All kinds of collisions going on there. Baby Anarchy emerges out the other side of the pack and then calls off the jam. Five points on the board for Tilted Thunder there. 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. We're going to have a timeout.
For Texas.
Team timeout by Texas, so we will step aside from the action for a moment. Right now, the score is 27-7. Tilted Thunder over Texas. 6:43 to go in the first quarter.
If you've seen a roller derby bout before, which I think many of you have seen, one or two, possibly seen at least 5 or 6 if you were here yesterday, then you know that 7 points to 27 points is really still anybody's game. And we're still in the first quarter here of this bout.
Derby fans, every month the Arizona Derby Dames work with a local charity. For the month of February, the Arizona Derby Dames are working with Feed My Starving Children, a local nonprofit that feeds hungry and malnourished children all over the world. This month, skaters from the Arizona Derby Dames will be volunteering to pack food boxes to send to starving children. Please come volunteer with us on Wednesday, February 27th from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. out in Mesa. For more information, please go to their website at fmsc.org.
Depeche Alamode, number 24, for her first jam of the morning, coming up to jam for Texas with number 425, Legs Get 'em, your co-captain for Seattle. Both jammers held up there, but Depeche Alamode able to stay on her skates until she gets taken to the infield by Seattle blockers in the front there. And an opening on the inside with both jammers getting out. Legs Get 'em coming around fast. Depeche Alamode unfortunately took a spill there. Had to reset behind the pack.
And making her way through the pack, Legs Get 'em wanders through, takes over lead, in fact, and calls off the jam after it's all over.
Slaughterhouse, your captain this morning for the Tilted Thunder Railbirds, ready to jam for Seattle.
And I was
yeah.
going to say it's going to be a power jam.
I was going to say the same thing. That's
Well,
weird. Brilliant minds think alike.
Gosh, yeah. It's like we've done this before.
Whoa. It's like we've seen a roller derby bout before.
So power jam for Seattle. And down in the corner and fighting her way through is Slaughterhouse, who is in fact the team captain today.
Scarlet Knockout and also number 247, Jose Cuervo, working hard on some defense there. Able to keep Slaughterhouse in. Currently being held by Joliet Jane. Slaughterhouse moving her feet and just got hit hard by Jose Cuervo.
22 seconds to go here in the Tilted Thunder Power Jam. Still trying to find a way through the pack as Slaughterhouse. That Texas defense has found their raison d'etre all of a sudden.
Yeah, Texas doing a good job there. Slaughterhouse is able to make it out, while Seattle holds Joliet Jane in the back as a goat. So Slaughterhouse gets through, passes Joliet Jane, tries to pass a couple more blockers before the whistle is blown to end that jam.
And it's a 4-point power jam for Tilted Thunder.
Got Elaphobia for Seattle on the line with Scapegoat, I believe, coming to jam for the first time this morning.
Good defense there by Texas to keep that power jam. Anytime you can keep a power jam in the single digits, you've done pretty good defense.
That's a success for sure.
And Elaphobia waited for her moment, was skating along in the pack, then had a blocker help her out, open the door, and Elaphobia is out and clear.
Scapegoat being given an opening by their offense, John Wayne Gay, and they are coming around to put the pressure on Elaphobia. Damn it, Jamit sending a hard hit towards Elaphobia, who skirts right away from it and has to call off the jam with Scapegoat coming up quick.
So we will set up for the next jam, and it's going to be Ruth Badger Jukesberg for Texas.
And I think that's Baby Anarchy for TTRB. She turns around, gives me a thumbs up, says, that sure is me. Out there ready to do some jamming. With some beautiful rail spins and a beautiful transition on the low. Unfortunately is taken out by a Texas blocker, but is able to get back up and out as your lead jammer. We've got Ruth Badger Jukesberg speeding around the track to catch Baby Anarchy.
Now the pack gets moving a little bit. Baby Anarchy trying to go along the inside, and a humongous collision with Mostly Harmless there along the inside of the turn.
Mostly Harmless, whose name is a big old lie. It's definitely a real scary blocker out there, blowing up Baby Anarchy in the last couple seconds of that jam. We've got John Wayne Gay coming to the jammer line for the first time for Texas this morning.
For Tilted Thunder, that's going to be your co-captain. Legs get 'em.
John Wayne Gay eyeing the pack maliciously. And we've got an official timeout.
Don't forget, fans, all sorts of fantastic food options available to you if you're here in person. I mean, you might have fantastic food options if you're watching on the web stream. I don't know. I don't know what's in your fridge. But if you're here in person, we've got the Off the Hook taco truck. Outside, they were serving breakfast all morning and have more than likely transitioned to lunch at this point. And they have fantastic fish tacos, chicken, vegetarian options, French fries. The snack bar is open, the AZDD snack bar, if you'd like to get yourself a little bite to eat. Cash only inside, please. And we've got the Fantasy Funnel Cake team coming by later on. I believe the Copper Star's probably wrapped up for the day.
No, they can't be.
Are they open?
No way.
Working? Looking over here, looks like Copper Star is still serving.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah,
They're
big
waving.
wave, big
I'm
wave.
still trying to get my iced chai later. Don't do that to me.
All right, Copper Star is still open, so food at
Whew,
Copper Star. We've
thank
got
goodness.
popcorn in here, so you will not go hungry. It looks like we have moved into a challenge. So this is going to become a coach's challenge here. We'll wait for the official word from the infield on that.
And just an update on our food situation. No, it's getting towards lunchtime. The minor assaults are selling their cupcakes for only $2. Also got couple of other things being sold by the Minor Assaults as a fundraiser to get them to battle on the bank this summer in June, hosted by Southside Roller Derby. The Minor Assaults are also selling popcorn for $1 and cake pops for $1 in addition to their $2 cupcakes. So get yourself a sweet treat. You've earned it. You've been here watching some roller derby. A lot of you have been here volunteering. Get yourself a sweet treat from the Minor Assaults.
Speaking of the Minor Assaults, if you're a young lady between the ages of 10 and 17 who loves to skate, or do you know somebody who meets those very simple criteria? Our Minor Assaults are a nonprofit 501c3 and are always looking for new skaters to join their team. Our coaches not only teach technique and knowledge of the sport, but they also help build leadership, teamwork, and problem-solving skills that'll help in life situations far beyond roller derby. Minor skating skills, dedication to learn, and a positive mental attitude are all that we require. Come see what all the fun is about. Ask any Arizona Derby name how to get involved, or visit our website at azddinspire.org for information on donating to or sponsoring the Minor Assaults.
If you would like your child to become a 15-year-old who can scare the pants off of grown adults, have them sign up for the Minor Assaults or any of your league's equivalent junior team, because I tell you, I go out there as a grown-up adult against some of those 13 and 15-year-olds, and man, they are scary. They know what the heck they're doing. The refs seem to be having a challenging time, if you will, deliberating what's going on here.
Apparently Bill looked up here and got confused because I was still sitting here, and I'm like, well, the last bout just ended late. I just hadn't moved yet. He's like, yeah, he looked up, and I guess he thought you were just going to keep going, so he just kept going. I'm like, all right, whatever. We good. We fine. I don't care.
I'm down. Are we early? Because I think this bout was... what time did it start?
No, we're not early. It's 11:19, but we've still got a good 2.5 minutes left yet of game time. So we'll be this will end at about 11:25. That'll put us at halftime at like 11:45. So we're right on schedule.
Oh, perfect. It would appear the discussion about the challenge has wrapped up with that penalty being overturned, which results in 2 jammers on the track. We've got John Wayne Gay for Texas and Legs Get'em, your co-captain for Seattle. Slow start to this jam.
Neither jammer wants to be the one to budge first. It's like that standoff scene at the end of Fistful of Dollars. And there we go. Suddenly the tension breaks, and we go from camera shots of shifty eyes to John Wayne Gay clearing the front of the pack for Texas. Right in behind her, though, is your Seattle jammer as well. So John Wayne Gay going to get back to the pack and see what she can pick up here. Couple of big collisions there at the very tail end of the jam. We had the Seattle jammer, Legs Get'em, trying to avoid a Texas skater that was falling and kind of went ribs first into the side rail there. That looked painful.
Yeah. Craven Cadavers for Seattle with Joliet Jane for Texas. About to start off this next jam.
Before we get to that, here comes another official timeout. So a lot of penalties they got to get sorted out and make sure everything's going in the right direction. Did see a little bit of confusion there. I saw the Seattle jammer think she had to go to the penalty box and then came back. So they'll talk that one over. That'll give us a chance to talk to you about Lost Dutchman Tattoo. Lost Dutchman Tattoo Shop specializes in various styles from realism to traditional. You can customize your own tattoo, and skaters can get a $50 custom 3-inch tattoo to commemorate the event from today. Appointments available all day today, Sunday, and they're located not far at all from the Hall of Dames, 4121 North 19th Avenue. It's the east side of 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School Road. If you'd like to get yourself a $50 custom 3-inch tattoo to commemorate the occasion of Chingadera, feel free to talk to any Arizona skater. They'll get you pointed in the right direction.
It appears that there was a jammer penalty called on the TTRB jammer. So this will be a power jam for Texas being skated by Joliet Jane.
So sore ribs and all, Legs Get'em had to go to the penalty box.
Juliet Jane taken to the infield by number 5, Tara Hoedown, before she's able to reset.
Joliet Jane fighting her way to the front of the pack and able to get those last few blockers pushed just out of play, so Joliet Jane gets through.
Texas doing a great job keeping a blocker in the back, allowing Joliet Jane to push Craven, Novocaine, and Slaughterhouse out of play.
There are 6 seconds to go here in the Texas Power Jam. Joliet Jane trying to get through on another scoring pass, seeing if she can find her way through. And the clock is going to expire. And you know, fans, local fans especially, you're probably listening to and watching this bout, you're like, Skeletina, Craven Cadavers, those names sound familiar. A lot of our Arizona skaters are actually helping out with Texas and Seattle, and I believe at least one other team. And sorry, I got distracted there.
It's all right, it's a long weekend.
Subbing in and helping out the teams. Definitely Skeletina's jammed for Texas a few times. Texas also featuring Dammit Jammit, Scarlet Knockout, 2 skaters from our home teams.
Yes.
And Craven Cadavers skating with Seattle along with Novocaine.
Lots of our excellent local skaters showing up today. Also, we've got Elaphobia from Seattle and Ruth Badger Jukesburg from Texas. Skaters local to their own respective states. They were in a jammer race. Ruth Badger Jukesburg forcing Elaphobia to call that off.
So 2 points will go on the board for Tilted Thunder, and that'll take us to the quarter break. So we've got 5-minute break here before the second quarter starts. A quick check of the score. It's going to be Tilted Thunder 45, Texas 10. All right, looks like we got everything sorted out here as the quarter break has begun. And the points on the board for Texas. Texas picked up some points there after the previous jam. So we had some problems with the scoreboard, which is what led to a little bit of a delay there in the scoring. But your score right now, Tilted Thunder 45, Texas 18. Texas has 18, not 10.
Want to give a shout out to, we were talking about some of our local skaters who are skating with some other teams this weekend. Wanted to give a shout out to La Chancla, who's also skating with Seattle. Woo, woo, woo! And La Chancla is an excellent skater who skates for our home team, the Runaway Brides, and her daughter is actually with our minor assaults as well. Excellent skater as well. We like to keep it in the family.
going to be...
Looks like we're starting off this, what is it, the second quarter with a power jam for TTRB, and that's being skated by Baby Anarchy, who I know hears my voice because she gave me a thumbs up earlier, so go get him, Baby Anarchy.
So Baby Anarchy down along the inside, a little pirouette, then bumped off by John Wayne Gay going into the corner. Tries to pirouette again. That time looked like she kind of bumped into her own pivot and fell off again. So now trying to get up and recover a third time.
Baby Anarchy is an excellent jammer. She's got a lot of very strong defensive skaters to fight against right now, though. She's going against mostly Harmless and Scapegoat in the front. We've got John Wayne Gay and Damn It Jam It also out there playing Power D. Ooh,
And
Novocaine taking Damn It Jam It down hard.
so here comes Baby Anarchy taking a look at the pack, coming on back down the front straightaway. Takes the bump there, trying to find her way through the pack. Very staggered out pack, and she's taking advantage of that. And a skater takes a big tumble right there. That was John Wayne Gay.
Some hard hits on day 2 of Chingadera.
Pretty
Joliet,
hard on the jammer there, I was going to say. She really took a pounding trying to get through the pack.
yeah. Joliet Jane coming to jam for Texas. And number 425, Legs Get 'em for Tilted Thunder.
5 points on the board for Tilted Thunder during that power jam. 5 hard-earned points by Baby Anarchy.
Legs Get 'em taking down Skeletina as she runs out on the high side as lead jammer. Joliet Jane nearly taken to the infield by Elaphobia, but she is able to stick to that inside coping, but the jam is called off.
So
Hey.
now jamming for Tilted Thunder is going to be number 5'1" Slaughterhouse.
And Scarlet Knockout coming to the jammer line for the first time for Texas this morning.
And there goes Slaughterhouse like a shot. Finds an opening through the turn, able to take a straight line and emerge from the pack.
Scarlet Knockout, who does not do a ton of jamming, which is unfortunate because when she does, she's really killing it out there. Here she comes, putting the pressure on Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, see, it gets to be a thing where, like, Scarlet's really good at jamming, but Scarlet
Yes.
is a preternaturally good blocker.
Oh, she's
so.
incredible.
Right.
Scarlet Knockout was, I mean, when I used to just be a fan coming to watch games, she was one of the ones I was watching because she was so cool. All the things. All right, Skeletina number 10-12 jamming for Texas with Elaphobia for Tilted Thunder.
And there goes Skeletina. She's your lead jammer for Texas. Elaphobia trying to race to the corner. Ruth Badger Jukesberg is there to slow down Elaphobia, and the wall is able to reform in front of her. Skeletina through the pack on a scoring pass with 30 seconds to go in this jam.
Had Jackie Lantern for the All-Star Army able to distract that wall and get Skeletina through. Let's see if Skeletina can make it through Seattle's wall again.
And now Elaphobia out of the pack, so she'll be coming around the corner. Skeletina back up onto the track and sensing a defensive battle, and she's already picked up those points. She calls off the jam.
She was taken to the infield by Hammond. Good strong hit there. We've got Ruth Badger Jukesberg for Texas. Craven Cadavers for Seattle.
Texas put 7 points on the board there. Takes our score to 58-25. Tilted Thunder, just under 11 minutes to go before halftime.
Still got a pretty close game here. We could have some power jams and throw a curveball up in here. Both jammers stuck behind the pack, right in the middle.
And both look like they're just trying to brute force their way
Who's
through it.
going to find an opening first?
Down to the inside, Craven Cadavers, but ran out of real estate at the edge of the turn. Tries to run to the outside, now going to the front of the pack. There goes John Wayne Gay trying to wait for her jammer to see if she can spring him free, and there goes the green jammer. It's Ruth Badger Jukesburg, and she's your lead jammer for Texas halfway through this jam.
Weasels her way out, or badgers her way out, I guess.
Something like that. She burrowed. I think Badgers burrow, if I'm correct.
Craven still fighting with John Wayne Gay and Joliet Jane in the back there.
I think I recall seeing that on Planet Earth once, and Morgan Freeman going, "La Badger prefers to burrow down deep onto the ground." That's the worst Morgan Freeman impression you're ever going to hear today. Stepping to the jammer line for Texas now, after Texas puts 3 points on the board to cut the lead to 30. That is going to be number 616 for Texas.
Scapegoat. And we've got, I believe that's Legs Get 'em again for TTRB. Looks like we've got a couple of penalties being assessed, so have some people coming down. In fact, the jammer for Tilted Thunder got a penalty in this last jam, so this will be Scapegoat skating a power jam for
Indeed.
the All-Star Army.
Craven Cadavers, number 616 in red, picking up a jammer penalty, which means that Scapegoat 616 in green now out there for a power jam for Texas.
They get knocked down by some of the blockers in the back from Seattle. TTRB holding some strong defense in the front there. LaChonkla and Hammond among other blockers just holding that wall strong.
"20 seconds to go here in the power jam, and then managing to spin around to the inside. There goes
Scapegoat
Scapegoat.
coming around. Texas making a strategic play to slow that pack down so Scapegoat can get around. Let's see if they can pick up any points before the end of this jam.
And that is going to do it for the clock. Let's check the score. And that is a 0 held up by the referee, so no points on the power jam.
Amelia Bearhart ready to go to jam for TTRB, I believe, for the first time this morning, with Dammit Jammit coming to the line for Texas also for the first time this morning.
However, before we get to that, we are going to have a timeout, and it's going to be a team timeout called by Tilted Thunder. So Tilted Thunder wants to take a second and talk over some of the goings-on. Don't forget about Siphon Draw Apothecary Shop. Their booth today is open next to the merchandise window. Siphon Draw produces all-natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skincare products made by our very own Dolly de los Muertos. They've got lip balm over there that is amazing.
And if you haven't smelled their lemongrass deodorant, you should go and smell that now.
It smells really good. It smells better than sweat.
It smells a lot better
Far
you know,
better than sweat.
Absolutely. It smells a lot better than all of us sitting here for 2 days straight.
Right.
Watching roller derby.
In the roller derby warehouse, and it smells like an interesting amalgam of sweat and pad and.
It's called the official scientific term is derby funk.
Got it. Or as they say in French, eau de roller derby.
Exactly. I thought that was an expensive perfume, actually.
That's what they'd have you believe. So Siphon Draw has their booth here today. Be sure to visit them at their booth, and of course, you can visit them anytime at the historic Goldfield Ghost Town on Highway 88. So we get back to the action, and it's going to be a power jam. Amelia Bearhart, after checking the structural integrity of the track, is ready to do the